Warm welcome to the DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The original name of Korea, Joseon, means the land of morning calm. From time immemorial, it has been called the land of golden tapestry for its world-famous mountains and scenic spots. All of you tourists would directly witness, hear and experience real looks of Songun Korea and cherish impressive memories of them. This is Kumsusan Memorial Palace. It is a supreme temple of Juche in which the respected President Kim Il-sung is laid in state. Primarily, it was the Kumsusan Assembly Hall in which President Kim Il-sung worked in his lifetime. It was renamed Kumsusan Memorial Palace in reflection of the unanimous desire of the Korean people. It was opened to the public in July 1995. This is Revolutionary Martyrs Cemetery on Mount Taesong. On Chuzak Peak of Mount Taesong in Pyongyang, there are laid in state revolutionary martyrs who fought heroically for the liberation and independence of the country. The cemetery consists of a gate, commemorative tower gates, sculptural groups ground, education ground, and a district of busts. On the education ground, there stands a monumental stone inscribed with President Kim Il-sung's autographic teaching. There are also a monument stone inscribed with a paean, a bronze sculptural group of mourners, and a pedestal for placing floral tributes inscribed with a medal of Hero of the Republic. On the district busts, there stand busts of revolutionary martyrs with a red flag for background. At the cemetery, there stands a bust of anti-Japanese heroine Kim Jong-suk in front of a red marble flag. The cemetery was opened in 1975 and rebuilt in 1985. It covers a total area of 300,000 square meters. This is monument to party founding. It was erected in October 1995 to mark the 50th anniversary of the founding of the Workers' Party of Korea. It tells of the proud history of the party, which is composed of workers, peasants, and intellectuals. The round band of the monument bears the letters reading, "Long live the Workers' Party of Korea, the organizer and guide of all victories of the Korean people." Surrounded by the band, there stand a hammer, a sickle, and a brush, gripped by worker, peasant, and intellectual. The round band represents the single-minded unity of the leader, the party, and the masses. The monument is 50 meters tall. This is Pyongyang Metro. Pyongyang Metro is linking central districts of the city. Its lines stretch to all directions, east, west, north, and south, from the center of the city to provide for the convenience of citizens in traffic. The stations of the metro are reminiscent of perfect underground palaces for a variety of their internal structure and beautiful decorations.
Stay with her. Oh. Nice take. Nice take.
Let's go. Come on. Yeah.
Yes! Yes, you beauty! Yeah! Woo! Woohoo!
This is Panmunjom. Panmunjom lies on the military demarcation line of the Korean Peninsula. It witnesses the most serious tragedy of the division of the country and the most acute confrontation of war or peace. Panmunjom began to be known widely to the world when the US imperialists bent their knees to the Korean people in the Korean War, signed an armistice agreement. It attracts the attention of the world, and usually visitors to Korea call that Panmunjom. This is the conference room for ceasefire negotiation. In this room, ceasefire talk took place between the Korean People's Army and the US imperialists during the Korean War. The conference room is 1 kilometer south from the northern border of the demilitarized zone. Now in the room, there are preserved the table and chairs used by the senior and other delegates of the Korean and US sides as they were. The armistice talk took place between July 10, 1951 and July 19, 1953. This is the building for signing the armistice agreement. When the armistice talk reached an agreement on ceasefire and its machinery, the US side proposed holding a ceremony of signing the armistice agreement quietly in a temporary tent out of door. It was because the US imperialists were afraid that future generations might see the place where they signed a surrender document after suffering shameful defeat in the Korean War. In defiance of the sinister intention of the US imperialists, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea saw to it that the building with an area of over 200 square meters was set up in 5 days, and so a ceremony of signing the armistice agreement was held here. As a result, this building remains as a witness of history. In the building, there are preserved the table of signing the armistice agreement, chairs, flags, documents, and other materials. This is monumental stone inscribed with an autograph of respected President Kim Il-sung. It was erected to immortalize the historic date of July 7, 1994, the last day of his life, when he put his signature on the last document on national reunification and died at his post. This is Conference Room District. In front of Panmun Pavilion, a building of the DPRK, there stand 7 buildings, which were used as conference rooms of the Military Armistice Commission and the Neutral Nations Supervisory Commission in the past. In the center of the building, there stands a table crosswise, and on the table there are lying microphones along its middle line. Just it is the military demarcation line, a symbol of Korea's division. Between the buildings, a 40 centimeter wide and 7 centimeter high concrete marker is laid in a line with microphones in the building, thereby forming the demarcation line. The military demarcation line is 246 kilometers long in total. This is Koryo Museum. It is Seongyungwan, the supreme learning institution during the Koryo dynasty. It was built in 992, but was burnt in fire during the Patriotic War in 1592. It was rehabilitated in 1602 to its original state. Seongyungwan was an institution which taught feudal Confucianism to children of noblemen to bring them up as state officials. Religious services for celebrated Confucian scholars were also performed here. It consists of 12 main buildings and 6 supplementary buildings. In the area in which stone pagodas and tombstones of the period of Koryo dynasty were transferred to here from other areas. It exhibits more than 1,000 historical relics and other materials showing the establishment of the Koryo state and its development. In the front yard, there grow over 1,000-year-old ginkgo and zelkova trees. This is King Gongmin's mausoleum. It is the tomb of the 31st king of the Koryo dynasty and his wife. When the queen died in 1365, King Gongmin designed 2 tombs and supervised their construction for 7 years. In the right tomb, he buried the queen and kept the left one empty till he himself was buried after death in 1374. In each tomb, there is a passage and burial chamber. On the walls and ceilings, there are drawn the sun, 7 stars of the Big Dipper and Orion's belt. 4 guardian gods of the earth are drawn on each wall of the tomb, 12 in all. King Gongmin's mausoleum is preserved in its original state as a precious historic remain of our people. This is Grand Monument on Manso Hill. It shows an informative integration the immortal history of the revolutionary struggle waged by the Korean people under the leadership of President Kim Il-sung. The monument was erected in April 1972 in honor of the 60th birth anniversary of President Kim Il-sung. In the center of it, there stands the bronze statue of the president. The large sculptural groups on both sides of the statue represent the periods of the anti-Japanese revolutionary struggle and the socialist revolution and socialist construction. Behind the monument, there is a large mosaic mural of Mount Baekdu, the sacred mountain of revolution, on the front wall of the Korean Revolution Museum. This is Tulima statue. In a Korean legend, Tulima is a winged horse that is said to cover 1,000 ri in a day. The statue was erected in April 1961 to symbolize the heroic spirit and the indomitable mettle of the Korean people who made rapid progress in the post-war rehabilitation and construction at the speed of Tulima. The statue is 46 meters high and 16 meters long. This is Grand People's Study House. Built in a Korean national architectural style, the 10-story house comprises 10 buildings. It was opened in April 1982. It can admit over 12,000 people every day and house 30 million books. This is the Tower of the Truth idea. It is a monumental edifice which was erected to eulogize the exploits of President Kim Il-sung, the founder of the Truth idea. The 170-meter-high tower was designed in our people's unique traditional fashion of stone tower construction. The body of the granite tower is 150 meters high and is capped by a 20-meter-high torch. It comprises a tower, trio group of worker, peasant, and working intellectual, 6 other sculptural groups, 2 pavilions, and 2 large fountains in the midstream of the Taedong River. The back of the tower body is adorned with choice stones sent by political parties and public organizations of various countries of the world. It was set up in April 1982 on the occasion of the 70th birthday of the respected President Kim Il-sung. This is the old home of the respected President Kim Il-sung at Mangyongdae. It is a historic revolutionary place. President Kim Il-sung, the father of socialist Korea, was born in the simple straw-thatched house on April 15, 1912, and spent his childhood here. He was the eldest son of Kim Hyung-jik and Kang Ban-sung. In this straw-thatched house that could be seen everywhere in the Korean countryside before liberation, his family had lived for 4 generations from Kim Ung-woo, great-grandfather. The revolutionary family members of the president were model patriots and indomitable revolutionaries who devoted their all to national independence and the people's freedom and liberation. At the old home of the president, there are preserved farm implements and utensils of daily use, which were used by his revolutionary family members. This is Victoria's Fatherland Liberation War Museum. It exhibits materials showing the immortal military exploits performed by President Kim Il-sung to lead the Korean War to a brilliant victory and the collective heroism displayed by the Korean People's Army and people. Primarily, it was opened at the Central District, Pyongyang, in August 1953 as Fatherland Liberation War Museum, and moved to this new building in April 1974 as Victoria's Fatherland Liberation War Museum. It has over 30 halls and over 80 rooms. This is monument to the Victoria's Fatherland Liberation War. It was erected to glorify forever the heroic exploits of the Korean People's Army and the people who defeated the US-led imperialist allied forces in the Korean War and thus honorably safeguarded the national freedom and independence. It was unveiled in July 1993 to mark the 40th anniversary of victory in the war. The monument comprises a gate, a monumental stone inscribed with the respected President Kim Il-sung's autographic teaching, a monumental stone with a paean, the thematic sculpture titled Victory, and 10 sub-thematic sculptural groups. This is Pyongyang School Children's Palace. It stands on Changdae Hill near the Kim Il-sung Square. It was built on September 30th, 1963. It can admit over 4,000 children every day. It is composed of circle rooms, library, theater, and other facilities necessary for training school children to have ample knowledge, high morality, and sound body. Visitors to the palace can see the policy and real situation of education of Korea.
back outside this. In this side. Sorry.
This is Pyongyang Temple. It is one of the 5 biggest temples in Korea. It was built in 1042 and so has existed for 1,000 years. Primarily, it was composed of 24 buildings and tower. It was the biggest temple in North and South Pyongyang provinces and the center of Buddhism in the area north of the Cheongcheon River. It was destroyed by the bombing of the US imperialists during the Korean War, but restored to its original state. If one is to go into the main shrine of the Pyongyang Temple, one should go through Joge Gate, Hetal Gate, Cheonwang Gate, and Manse Pavilion. The main shrine shows the superiority of Korean national architectural art. In front of the main shrine, there is 13-storied octagonal tower, which is 8.6 meters high and has 104 wind bells. There are also Gwanum Shrine, Deongsan Shrine, Suchung Temple, and the house in which are preserved the archives of the 80,000 blocks of complete collection of Buddhist scriptures. In the house, there are wood block book of the archives of the 80,000 blocks of complete collection of Buddhist scriptures, a priceless national treasure which shows the development of the printing technique of Korea and historical remains unearthed in Mount Myohyang. This is International Friendship Exhibition on the bank of the Myohyang stream. It was opened on August 26, 1978. The exhibition consists of 2 exhibition halls, one for President Kim Il-sung and the other for General Kim Jong-il. On display there are gifts reverentially offered to President Kim Il-sung and General Kim Jong-il by heads of party, state and government, prominent figures and people from all walks of life of foreign countries, overseas Koreans and South Koreans. It was built in a Korean architectural style without using wood, but looks like a building of wood. There is no window, but it looks like building with windows. This is U.S. armed spy ship Pueblo. Pueblo is a U.S. armed spy ship which was captured by the heroic Korean People's Army in January 1968 while committing espionage acts in territorial waters of the DPRK. Now it is on display at the edge of the Taedong River in Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Long before it, another U.S. aggression ship, General Sherman, had been sunken in the river. On December 23, 1968, the U.S. imperialists acknowledged their espionage acts and sent a letter of apology of the U.S. government to the Korean people, assuring them not to violate the territorial waters in the future. Accordingly, a resolute measure was taken to expel the arrested spies of the Pueblo out of the DPRK. On the spy ship, there remain the espionage devices and historical evidences as they were when it was seized.